CEO of the Urban League of Broward County. She's amazing. Shahiwa Jared Jellin, founder and CEO of Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce, and General Counsel and Vice President of Compliance for Jellin Benefits Group, LLC. Let's give her another round of applause. We got two more, folks. We got two more. Dr. Jamonica Roll, Interim College Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs and College Operations, Broward College. Thank you, Dr. Roll, for being here. And finally, our moderator, Susan Leon, Chief Education Officer for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Good morning, and thank you for being here today. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to go right ahead and plunge right on in so we can get to as many questions as we can this morning. So for each of you, our first question this morning along education and workforce development is, what is your organization's role in promoting education and workforce development?
First of all, good morning, everybody, and I just can't say that I just want to appreciate the leadership of City of Fort Lauderdale for this convening. This corridor continues to need a lot of service and attention, and so we're really happy to be here. Our core business, OIC, was established in 1964 by the late Reverend Leon Sullivan. We have operations around the country and in Africa. Our core business is we believe that a job is the best social service in the world. So a job is so much more than about revenue. It's about a sense of pride, a sense of dignity, modeling behaviors that eradicate vicious cycles of poverty. So we believe our role is to make sure young people, their aspirations are guided correctly. We always ask the young people, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of times that's a rhetorical question, so we put a lot of rigor behind that. We also are a licensed vocational institute with the Florida Department of Education, CIE, so we're offering 17 labor market informed credentials to make sure people have the requisite skills to come into the marketplace to be productive members of our community. So we try to do that in as many ways as possible, leveraging our relationships with Department of Labor and local entities to make sure people have the requisite jobs. And so we want to continue to do that and make sure people can have a livable wage in our community.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. You guys look beautiful. For those who I can see, this light is crazy. Wonderful opportunity to speak to you guys today. At the heart of the work that we do at the Urban League of Broward County for the past decade is centered around community development and building up the community. And we do that by way of small business services and coaching and programming. We've serviced over 450 small businesses on an annual basis. And we also our belief really is that entrepreneurship is workforce development, because at the core of it, for every entrepreneur, you're likely going to hire somebody, and you're likely going to bring in a student. You're likely going to expand your business that way. So at the core of it, we are, and we feel like we are part of workforce development right here in the heart of our community. Our building is right next door, by the way, for those of you who don't know. So we reside right here in the heart of the Sistrunk corridor. And our mission is backed by the work that we do, serving the community, serving the business owners. We've allowed so many individuals to take part in our grant programs, our access to capital, and just strengthening business acumen so individuals can play a critical role in the community, have a sense of worth, and really establish themselves.
Very nice. Happy to be here. Thank you for the question. I want to get a little audience participation. Does anyone know what a Chamber of Commerce is? Raise your hand. Okay, quite a few. Very lovely. In essence, we're a collective of business owners who come together to not only support each other, but we also want to support folks in the community. So I believe we play two different roles to answer your question. As the innovators and job creators, our business owners and members of the chamber hire folks in the community. And I think it's important that we also, besides offering a job, we also offer shadowing opportunities as well as internships, which are critical for training up the next generation of folks who will work in large corporations or in a small business or, in a nonprofit entity. So we believe that you have to teach folks the soft skills that you want and not just complain about it. We have to be a part of that. So we do that on the hiring level, the shadowing and internship level. But then we also go into the schools. From the very inception of the chamber, we were very intentional about bringing up the next generation of entrepreneurs or folks who may go off to a job, but we want them to be entrepreneurial minded. So we were very active with Dillard High School. They have an entrepreneurship program. So we launched literally in August of 2018, and that very year in 2018, we started a program with them, helping them create businesses and compete. We are active at Boyd Anderson High School as well, doing the same thing, helping them run a boutique so they get real business life experience and practical skills. And then we encourage our business owners and help them through partnerships, find young folks who can work not only in their job, but then they come into the schools to talk to them about what they do, answer questions, and tell them the exact skills that are needed. We can't complain about the workforce that we have. You know, it's our motto if we're not out actively trying to train them up and help them become the next employees that we need them to be.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I just want to say first, on behalf of our president at Broward College, Tori Alston, who could not be here with us today, thank you for having us. It is important that Broward College is here at the table, not only to reaffirm our commitment to this community, but to also hear what the needs are and to be a part of the solution. And so with that being said, I want to start by first saying that Georgetown University recently released an article speaking about the post-secondary needs of the future, and that by 2031, which is just 6 years away, just 6 years, 72% of all jobs will require some type of post-secondary credential or training. And so it is critical that our post-secondary institutions are a part of the solution. At Broward College, we are the largest grantor of post-secondary credentials in the county. We have approximately 51,000 students that we interact with every year at Broward County, and we confer about 10,000 credentials. Those credentials range from CDL training all the way through our Bachelor of Science in Nursing. And so it is critical that we are at the table, being a part of the solution. And as I said, we have a new president, Tori Alston. He's coming to the college just over 100 days now, doing a full-scale assessment of the institution and making sure that we are focused on programs of the future. And he is doing a lot to showcase awareness for what Broward College has to offer. And in doing that, for example, one of the things that we did this year is if you were a if you were a high school senior at any school in Broward County, you should have received a letter from the president saying, Broward College is here, we want to support you, please consider us for your post-secondary needs. And along with that, also realize that we have a scholarship called our Pledge to Success Scholarship, that if you are in a household making $100 or $1,000 or less, you qualify to come to Broward College free, right? These are the types of things that we really want to do to bring the community along, to make sure that we are prepared for what's coming.
Thank you for that. I can tell you, as a former educator and a former high school principal here in Broward County Public Schools, it takes more than a village. So I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everything that all of you are doing for our children and our students in our community. It is so appreciated and so needed. And on that note, along the lines of those things that you've said, we need more people engaged doing the things that you're doing. So how can we incentivize contractors and vendors to offer these real-world experiences is what works. So how do we incentivize more people in our community to offer internships and apprenticeships?
I think gatherings like this, I always say that leadership is not a spectator sport. And I think the business community oftentimes see it as a they problem. Us and we in the workforce of Eleanor entities, higher ed, et cetera. And I think more and more it's about us creating pathways to engage them, continued engagement, facilitating the conversations of what their needs are, because we're training their talent to mobilize their businesses. I think more and more businesses who feel the pain points of their aspirations to grow, recognize at the end of the day, you can have all the vision in the world, but if you don't have the talent, nothing happens. Those of us in the CEO seats, I used to have an afro when I first started, but it shrinks because, again, the constant need is always about talent. So I think for us, it's incumbent upon us to reach out, to engage them, to convene, really listening, talk about the opportunities that exist in terms of vocational training offerings. And if you do that, you can get them in the mix. But I think the other category is our young people. I go back to the old saying that, again, we ask people, what do you want to be when you grow up? Way so often, particularly in some of these communities, that the economic vitality isn't quite there yet. It's happening. And I always say, young people, you only aspire as high as what you're exposed to. And so the question becomes to young people, what do you believe is possible? We got to get past rhetorical on that question. I think we, this broader community, can make sure that what they believe their aspirations are continue to be elevated, engage the business community to help dream what that can look like, and get them the requisite skills that they need. And it requires the entire community to get behind that process. Continued engagement, continued accountability for all of us, and I think we'll see greater economic vitality here in our communities.
I would add that for those of you who might not know, the Urban League of Broward County, your Urban League of Broward County, is celebrating its 50th year in the community. And tremendous work, thanks to Dr. Ball for the leadership of what we've done over the last 25 years especially. And what I would say for those of you who don't know is there are 6 pillars that's represented with the Urban League of Broward County: education, entrepreneurship, jobs, justice, housing, and health. And so we touch the youth in every single one of those pillars. Every single one of those pillars we touch the youth, and a big part of the conversations that we'll have with organizations and partnerships centers around that. It centers around the core of how are we making sure that no one is left behind and we're bringing everyone along. We have a lot of youth programming that happens in our building. Right now, summer camp is taking place, so the young folks is taking over our building, which is fun and sometimes not. But at the core of it is really just making sure that we keep those kids and keep the community, because they are our future, keeping them frontal lobes so that everything that we do in all development and all programming is inclusive of them and the support that we can offer them. Now, within the Entrepreneurship Center, we don't necessarily do work with the youth, with the young kids and the high school kids. However, we have done workshops and we have participated. I have created collateral that my team members can go to the middle schools and the high schools and talk to the youth about business development, about how to establish a business, and starting to strengthen and establish some acumen so that they can play a role in the society and in the community as it relates to creating a legacy potential for themselves down the road. So that's our role, and that would be my response to your question. Thanks.
I think from my perspective, very practical one, it's kind of twofold. So from the private sector side, I remember going to an economic development meeting in Palm Beach, and you had Boeing and all these large companies. The marine industry was represented, and they all were complaining about how, by a certain year, there's gonna be a shortage. And there's gonna be a shortage in the marine industry, and we have all these great paying jobs, and as well as with the pilots, that there's gonna be a shortage. And so I ran up to the guy there, I can't remember, he's in charge of some department, and said to him, so what are you doing to get out in the community to find your future workers? Like, you need to find them now. And you can't look at the same partners you've always partnered with, because obviously you're not getting the amount of folks that you need in your programs. So you have to do what I call the unusual, right? You have to pound the pavement and go out to your HBCUs, go out to the high schools that you don't normally go to. Because quite honestly, the schools that we quote unquote call the better schools or what have you, those kids are kind of primed to go to, be lawyers. They want to go on to college. They want to go to become doctors, etc. But you have a whole lot of other kids that want to do very well and provide for their family, as well. So at a Dillard or a BA, we even work with Oriole Estates Elementary, and we're working in another school, Miramar High School this year. Those kids have dreams too, and they want good jobs. And they don't necessarily have as much time as the other kids because they kind of can have a cushion. To wait 4 years to make a really great salary. And so I said to him, I was like, I can introduce you to the Boyd Anderson, principal, the Dillon principal, some of these other folks, so that you're now, kind of training up a new pool, a new cadre of folks who will work in your industry. So we have to get out of our box. The corporate folks have to get out of their box and search in different areas. And then I do think, just building upon what I said earlier, we have to go into the schools as well. So that's why, we're active in the schools that we've mentioned by bringing in folks who can speak to their experience. So the kids can relate. And each school we've gone to, the administrators have literally said to us, the kids need to see you. They want you there. They need to see folks that look like them doing things that they don't think they can do. And I'm going to tell you, it works. I've heard the stories. And a quick story, a colleague of mine who's a lawyer as well, not from this area, but didn't grow up, in a very wealthy situation, but from simply sitting in a class and having a lawyer come to visit, that day in middle school decided he was going to become a lawyer. Guess what age I decided I was going to become a lawyer? 11. So that's why we go. And that's the impact that we can have. So I encourage, that reciprocal nature. Private sector, get out of your box and search in the areas that you don't normally go. And then we as a community have to go into those settings, pour into our folks, our students, so that they have the skills they need when they graduate.
I agree with most of what I've heard here, but I would also ask, what are we doing to hold our vendors and our businesses accountable as they come forward asking to do business with the city or the county? Are we building in anything in our RFP processes that will support their engagement with our youth, with our community? Perhaps there's an opportunity there for us to think about how we can add points. You talked about an incentive for them to do those things, right? And so I think we need to really think long and hard about how we engage with our businesses and what that looks like. I will tell you, as a person over all of the programs at Broward College, I have sometimes companies come to me and say, hey, I need workers. What are you doing? Can you give me some more people? And like you mentioned a few minutes ago, I say, well, what I need from you is I need you to come and to participate as a part of our advisory board. I need you to help me develop the curriculum so that we make sure that when our students graduate, they have the skills that you'll need in your hospitals or where have you. And so I need you to also participate, offer internships and scholarships to students. And so it really is about making sure that we are also holding our businesses accountable as a part of that process. Great.
I'm just going to say this before you go. I don't have to do that with my businesses. They look for those opportunities because they come from those communities, right? So they look for the hard to hire. They want to be. They want to make a difference. And I will say, to your point, it's a good point. I serve as the chair of the Broward County Broward Public Schools Small Business Advisory Board, and that's exactly what we're talking about. How can we add additional points as an incentive when you submit a proposal, what have you, if you've already been engaging, you've already been donating, you've already been active at a school in Broward County. So I think that definitely is something we all have to do together.
Absolutely, great suggestions. Thank you for that. We are going to try to get some audience participation, so I'm going to ask one more quick question, one sentence answer. Okay, here we go. I know that's a real challenge. Okay, so how are you in your position addressing residents or providing training for residents that are currently unemployed or need new skills due to unemployment?
I mean, this is not peripheral to our mission, it's the core of our mission. I mean, it's not something we hope to do. It's our core value proposition that makes perfect have the requisite skills, because that's what really sustains community. Make sure people have the requisite skills to be economically self-sufficient. But I can't stress enough how important it is, because you can eradicate vicious cycles of poverty because their kids get to see in this house we work. And that's how you eradicate vicious cycles of poverty and happy to do it.
Remember, I said we had 6 pillars at the Urban League, and employment is one of the areas that we strictly focus on. And we do have workshops, we have job fairs. We recently had one where we have a clothing closet where individuals can come in, they can get a haircut and get suited and booted, and have an interview right on the spot. So it is absolutely a critical thing, and we understand that not everyone in the community is prepared for that or as prepared for that. So we do provide the coaching, the side sessions so that they can be prepared and have a successful interview. Additionally, with the youth, we work with them specifically to help to train the muscle memory so that they know how they're supposed to show up when they have an interview and the things that they should say when they go and meet with someone. And the manners, obviously, you know, how do you address someone, how do you approach someone that you know that runs an organization or is a company, and just how you show up personally. So all of that stuff is the core of what we do and the services that we offer.
So as the folks that hire people, we're directly involved in that. But you know, being creative other than posting on a LinkedIn or Indeed, you know, we encourage our members to interact and with a career source Broward, which we have, where we bring in folks that have been unemployed, and we started this a little bit before COVID. So they come in, you know, they have that worksite program where they work for you and they pay for that for about 4 months. And then folks hire people. We have great participation throughout our membership, which is at about a little bit about 560 businesses we have in the chamber. And then on top of that, we've also partnered with, you know, OIC. We've, you know, partnered with them and another group to hire the young folks once again. So we understand if we want to see certain skills present in folks that are 18 plus, we got to get started early as well.
So I'll just give one example. I mean, Broward College is all over Broward County in terms of helping to help folks upskill, reskill, and to provide opportunities for education. But I will just quickly point, since I'm here, to the YMCA and how we've made that education very close in proximity to the community. And just last year, we helped over 1,000 residents in this area to provide workforce training, short-term certificates, and a range of other educational opportunities.
Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing that up. Okay, at this time, we're going to turn it over to have questions from the audience.
Feel free to come up, y'all. There are 2 microphones. So if you have any questions, please come up.
Hello? We need to turn it up. You can hear me? This question is for Dr. Roll with Broward College. Thank you guys all for coming and sharing. I have a question though about, I've mentored a couple of high school students. They were going to go to Broward College path, but the issue is with FAFSA. So that was almost like a roadblock. They couldn't get in this semester. It was like, so I'm wondering, is there any thing that Broward College offers to kind of help bridge that gap?
So we do FAFSA workshops, and we are in talks now with Broward County Public Schools to partner so that we are more intentionally going into the schools to offer those workshops. But we do offer on-site workshops for FAFSA. We know last year there was a glitch at the federal government that created some challenges for folks to complete those FAFSA documents. But what I would say is continue to encourage them to struggle through the process and to reach out, come to the college, and of course you can reach out to my office or any administrator, the president at the college to say, hey, I have some students who are struggling with FAFSA. Would you be willing? We are more than willing to come out and to offer those workshops because we know that is a barrier for students.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stacy Powell, and I definitely wanted to just speak to the panel and say, as somebody that 18 years ago, I was in high school at Blanchini High School, never had any experience in real estate, and there was a program that Career Source had that was called STAR Program. They placed me in a real estate office. Nobody in my family did real estate, never had any exposure to it. I was actually in Dale Bonus office for the school year, my senior year, and I gained so much knowledge. I got introduced to a whole new career, and here it is 18 years later, I've been doing real estate for 10 years. So it works. Going into the schools work. We need those faces, we need those opportunities, we need the people in place that can show us what's possible. My dinner conversation was different. I didn't get exposed to it, so now that I'm exposed to it, I'm able to expose my children to it. So I just wanted to speak to being able to go into the schools and having that, and because here here I am, and I'm in a whole new career just because of that exposure.
If I could just celebrate Stacy, she is phenomenal. That is a plug for her business. I can't express enough, particularly now. We are in the most iterative stage of workforce development in the history of this country, maybe the world, specifically with AI. You've heard it talk about that a lot of jobs exist now don't even be around. And so the sooner we get young people exposed to what's possible, the sooner they can get into a place where they take interest, understand their own innate talents and abilities, get the requisite skills, and can contribute to the workforce. We celebrate this.
Hello, my name is Sharon Hughes. Hi, Ms. Leon. I have a question for the young lady from Broward College, and also I want to piggyback off what she said about the FAFSA night. Hey, sweetie. We partner with you guys for a FAFSA night every year because we do college prep workshops with Broward College. But the question I have, you just spoke about a lot of employability and credential programs that y'all do at the YMCA where I work at down the street. Unfortunately, you just said about the pledge scholarship. We do a scholarship fair every year. This year, we gave out $49.5 million in scholarships. We have over 33 universities and colleges. I haven't even heard of that because we're trying to get you guys to come down the stairs, and it's a disconnect somewhere. So my question to you is how or who I need, because I'm a worker bee, Ms. Leon, I tell you, I don't need no one to do it for me, who I need to contact, who I need to connect with, because it's a disconnect somewhere, because when I go upstairs, no one can give me any information. And when I'm listening to you right now, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've been asking for this for years. Like, this scholarship fair I've been going since I'm 13th year. There's something missing. And then I also want to ask the young lady for the Black Chambers of Commerce, how can I connect with those business partners that you said, because I do work with the kids. Ms. Leon knows me very well. I do work with those kids from the community within a 10-block radius of this building who walk to me, and I never know about that either. I didn't even hear about anything like that. Who do the community connect with to find out this information?
So first, let me say I'm very disappointed to hear what you are sharing, but I thank you for bringing it to my attention so that it's something we can rectify. So after this panel, I'll give you my information so that we can connect to make sure that that does not continue to happen. We are committed to making sure that our scholarship, our information is out there, and I will work myself to rectify the problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, same here. I could give you my information. We have a very active community service committee. Like I said, that we've worked at Dillard, Boyd Anderson. This is for years. We also have an event at Mount Hermon, AME Church right now. So we've had events for the last 5 years right out of that location, right in the heart of Sistrunk, as well as Destination Sistrunk. So we're very active in the corridor. So I'll give you my information so we can get engaged with your programs.
Thank you guys so much.
Sorry, that mic is so low.
Hello. All right. Hello. My name is Cleveland. Thank you so much for being here. I have a question either for you, Newton, JR, Shahiwa. Thank you. My question, I truly believe that proximity is very important for a community, which means to me, if someone has a problem when it comes to real estate, we talk about gentrification, where are not only our real estate attorney offices, our real estate offices in the heart of Sistrunk, would you have a data point where we can point and say we have X amount of attorneys in this corridor to be able to help and assist the community whenever they have a problem? To the point of this young lady who just came up, how do we get in contact? If I have a problem, which attorney do I go to? Can you answer that question? Do we have points of references that we can look to when we need help? Because when we talk about gentrification, it won't happen if we do have people who want to come here to be attorneys, to be doctors, and we know the offices to be able to get assistance and help. So anybody on the panel that's willing to answer, I just want to see where we are in that thought
Sure.
process.
I'm not an attorney, and maybe maybe my past life, but I'm gonna touch the spirit of your question around proximity. You know, it's interesting. About 13 years ago, we started a social enterprise organization, and the reason why is because I said we're in the business of fostering economic self-sufficiency to the people we train. As an organization, I wondered how self-sufficient we were, so we started a business to create our own jobs. And to your point about proximity, I always say hope is not a strategy. So we have 120 employees that we hire ourselves. And to make sure that we don't hope people have opportunities, we don't hope that it works out, we don't have to go call anybody else. And by the way, Shahid was the chair of our board, and we pay them a livable wage, just under $20 an hour. They get paid time off and free health care. So I'm gonna touch the spirit of what you just talked about proximity and making things happen. Because I think at some point in time, we gotta stop looking for other people to solve our problems and find a way to give our people real-time access. So that'd be the spirit without answering your question.
I want to respond real quick and just, one of the cohort training programs that we offer is called our UBiz CoLab. It's a 6-month program, and embedded in that program, there is a segment that is a legal portion. And so when you talk about proximity, I heard that, you know, convenience or being able to get access to an attorney that can assist you. And within that program, most of the interactions or all the interactions are done virtually or by phone and in scheduled time. So there is a convenience for the individuals that are in our program that can tap into that aspect of it and have the ability to leverage or get an understanding of contracts, agreements, and so forth, or challenges that they may have from a legal aspect, because as Newton said, he's not a lawyer and neither am I, and I'm not an accountant either, but we have people that are on our team that can assist individuals or business owners that may have challenges with that.
Great question, because I do agree that, you know, to make it easier for people to access services and to get the help they need, you need to be close. And I think in answering the other woman's question, I talked about the fact that we're very intentional about where we come to provide our services. Literally, Mount Hermon AME Church is a mile down the road, and we've done a number of programs there, not just a mental health wellness fair, community health fair, but also a small business legal clinic that we've done there, where folks get to walk in and ask a question and receive some counsel from a lawyer, practicing lawyer, and some guidance. And I will tell you, we've done it at that church. We've also done it in Lauderdale Lakes and Miramar, down in Miramar, where our community's kind of hub. And folks come out of there crying, because they're finally getting their questions answered. They're finally feeling like they're getting some help, and that's something we committed to. We do it in conjunction not only with the lawyers that are members of our chamber, but we partner with some of the other voluntary bar organizations, such as the T.J. Reddick Bar Association, the Caribbean Bar Association, and the Haitian Lawyers Association. We've done it with, so we pull on their cadre of lawyers as well. And just to kind of give you a flavor, we created a coalition through the chamber, the Coalition of Black Organizational Leaders, so it's all professional Black organizations, and that's what we seek to do, come into the community and provide a service. So I'm trying to work with T.J. Reddick to kind of get their hotline going back again where folks can call in, but as a chamber project, we have our legal clinic that we rotate around the county, so we're actually situated in the communities that need help. And we do the announcements on the radio, etc., to try to reach people. So follow us, make sure you know when we're doing these events, because we're here for you. We're here to serve.
Cleveland, what I also hear is maybe the city of Fort Lauderdale has some asset mapping to do for Sistrunk. Hope they don't kill me, but that might have to happen.
Yeah.
Depending on how quickly we can answer your question, we may be able to take 2, so you can step forward, and then, ma'am, yes, you can step forward.
Hi, I am Sharon Allen. I am a small business owner here in Sistrunk. I own the Blue Tree Cafe Vegan Soul Food, which is one of the only completely soul food vegan restaurant in Florida. My question was really for the first panel, but it will lead into this panel as well, as far as education. I was granted through the CRA substantial funding to open my business, Sistrunk area, wanting to be on the mission of bringing healthy food to our community so that we can do better, initially through the body as well. Fast forward now to about 2.5 years I've been into the Sistrunk area with my business. I am struggling. I'm struggling to stay open because of lack of education. The CRA gave me the funding, but my solution, I'm trying to think. You say what we can do to help Sistrunk. When you bring small businesses into the Sistrunk area, I think it should be mandatory that they do utilize the Urban League, that they do utilize the Chamber of Black Commerce, so they get educated, because I never knew what a triple net lease was. So right now, I'm paying for everything. I didn't know that I could negotiate about my CAM charges, which has doubled. And so I felt like I was just throwing money and thrown into a business, and I wasn't really given the education on how to deal with these sharks that are coming into our community. You know, they come in, let's say they come in like sheets, but actually 2 years later has turned into a wolf. So my thing is, I wanted to address this to the first panel, was Mr. McFarland, you know me, and Shahiwa, you know me. I just wish you all could go to the CRA and make it mandatory that small businesses go through your small biz co-op, so that I'll know where the legal, because they have all that. They have all that information. So I don't come that you're small, because what is gonna make us stay? Because I'm ready to leave. What's gonna make us stay in the neighborhood? You can come and support me, but if they keep raising the bar, I can't afford to stay here. I'm located on 9th and Sistrunk. Right across where Brothers used to be. It's a multi-color building, and it's called Vegan Soul Food. And I'm struggling to stay open because of lack of education.
I hear you. And shout out to the Urban League and all the organizations she has. I don't know down to the question, but we'll take our last question. It is 11:51, and I do have to get to
I'll be brief. I don't have a question. I just wanted to pretty much say thank you for y'all time, and I also wanted to encourage y'all to please keep implicating things like that in school, sending people with those new jobs. Me personally, I didn't have a grandfather that say, hey, I was a mechanic. I didn't have a grandfather that say, hey, I was a roofer. And right now, I roof for 10 years. I hate to hear my son say, hey, I want to be a roofer like you. I don't want to see him do that. I want to see him make better his life, to be able to take care of his family and provide for everything, for himself and his family. Anything he wants, I want him to live his highest dreams. I can't do that as a roofer, and I don't want him to think that's a goal. I want him to be able to see something better. We only see what's in front of us. As a kid, I only thought our only goals was football, basketball, rap, simple things like that. I never knew roofing was even a job. So I just want to say, keep that up, and please do that more often. I want my son to become better. I want all of the young kids to become better and do something better with their lives.
I'm not sure how old your son is, but what I would say is, allow him to share with you some of his other passions, or maybe you're looking and you can see some of his other passions. Get him plugged into some STEM courses, STEM activities. It might unlock something for him that he says, wow, I really like this. I mean, AI is this new phenomenon that is going like crazy, and perhaps there's something in technology. Who knows? But expose him to that stuff, and he might be able to tap into it.
Well, my brother here, he's forgive me if I butcher this, a software engineer or somewhere along that line. So luckily, now I'm at this point where my son is talking about things that I'm not even sure what it is. But I'll let him keep entertaining things like that. And again, that's the reason I said, please keep doing things like that in school, man. It can be a big difference.
Well, I just want to say, let's exchange information, because we do a program every year called Black Men in Entrepreneurship. Room full of black men, all different kinds of activities, and we invite the students to come in for that session so that we can, exchange, and he can be exposed to some other programs that they run as well, 100 Black Men and some other mentoring organizations, that he can, readily be around his peers with other folks who are doing a wide variety of things, so he can get that exposure.
And can we just celebrate you, though? How about that?
On that note, be excellent.
Thank you so much. Those were some outstanding questions from the audience. Truly appreciate it, and thank you so much for being here today and giving us such wonderful and insightful information.
All right, there are two speakers holding